First team in the new expansion, we have the Savannah Spirits, that being Savannah, Georgia. Not sure if you guys know much about Savannah. It's said to be, I believe, the most haunted place in the United States. And that goes for the football stadium as well. There's some eerie things going on there, so opponents beware.
Is their mascot a ghost?
Yes, but not everyone gets to see them. As the players enter the field, they kind of come up from the ground. There's a bit of an underground aspect of the tunnel there, as if, you know, like zombies coming out of a graveyard. There'll be tombstones and everything there as well outside the end zone. This is an outdoor stadium, Spanish moss trees everywhere. So it's going to fit right into the stadium. Drinks, you guessed it, spirits. So you can pretty much get whatever you want alcohol wise. No beer, spirits only. Only night games too.
Brisbane Barbies. Now you're wondering, why did we not place it in Sydney? Why did we not place it in Melbourne? Copyright issues. All right. It has to be the Brisbane Barbies. Now you're thinking, Barbies? That doesn't make any sense. It's just on fire. Like, that's in Australia. It looks like it's having a wildfire like they have all the time. But it's shrimp on the barbie. And their mascot is a dingo baby. Every single game starts at 3 p.m. when the sun's the highest in the sky. The field is just red turf, like the Australian dirt. It's just an absolute roast. So when the teams enter, both teams, there's smoke through the tunnels, but it's not from smoke machines. It's actually smoke from barbecues. The whole stadium has this eerie smoke throughout. You can barely see. You're so hot, you're so thirsty, and you're so hungry. You don't even know what this barbecue is. You look over at your pal. You haven't heard from him since the first quarter. He's fried. He's now one of the barbecue that you're eating.
The Moscow Molotovs. It's a strict communist approach to entry into this game. They demand 50% of the fans there to be their fans. If you did buy tickets and you travel all the way out to Moscow, they can turn you away and you don't get a refund. You do get a voucher to the team store to try to turn you into a Molotovs fan. When you enter the stadium, you get a red Molotov rag. It's like the Steelers' terrible towel. Drinks are mainly vodka-based, obviously. Moscow Mules and White Russians are the drinks of choice. All drinks are served in a glass bottle, so at this point, you now have a glass bottle with alcohol and a rag. Their mascot is Ruski. He's a World War II stereotypical Russian soldier who throws plush Molotovs into the crowd during breaks. Cheerleaders are super meticulously picked to be smaller than the very next one to really sell the Russian stacking doll look.
The cruise ship Castaways. You guessed it, their home turf is a cruise ship, so this is going to be an insane home field advantage. If they're playing Seattle, they might go port over on the East Coast. They're going to let you know sometime during the week, hey, this is where you're traveling to. Come meet us. In order to go to this game, you actually have to board the cruise. So you buy a 7-day cruise vacation. That comes with your ticket to the Castaways game. All the Castaways live on the cruise ship. Seating, you can buy pool seats, hot tub seats. There's games going on left and right. Yeah, you got every alcoholic beverage you could think of. Again, it's just a normal cruise ship. Just enjoy football while you're on a cruise.
Is it like on the deck, or is it like underneath, like a theater style?
It's on the lower level, but you know, you can walk the balconies of the deck. You want to go hit the slot machine in the casino quick? Go hit it. Come back by the third quarter. They'll be there.
We have the Gotham City Knights. Gotham City Knights field went through a terrible explosion, earthquake. Gotham City, if you guys don't know, just outside of New York City, very close on the bay. Also the highest crime rate in the world, but not in the sanctuary of the Gotham City Knights field. This thing is huge, Gothic cathedral style. And sometimes on top of those cathedral castle points, you will see the man, the myth, the legend himself tuning in to watch a little bit of the game. The field is pitch black, just like the Savannah Spirits, only night games. And the unfortunate part about this is the only way you can see the field is through the Batman spotlight. So it just shines on the play and it follows the ball. So you don't know where the defenders are. Say it's a breakaway run, he could look wide open and then bam. Yeah, they have an orphan day, the first week of the year. Tickets are full price, however.
The Mykonos Minotaurs. Obviously, Minotaurs is an outdoor stadium. It's a very traditional rectangular design, so it kind of looks like the Parthenon on the outside. The inside of the concourse looks like a Greek market. All the employees there, they have to wear these togas. There's a labyrinth-themed maze inside for families to explore, and when you get to the middle, you can get your picture taken with the beast before kickoff. And like the Parthenon, towards the top of the stadium are marble statues. One of the short sides has the current players, and then the other short side, it's blank right now, but it's going to be filled with Ring of Honor Hall of Fame players. Cheerleaders, obviously they all got to wear the togas as well, and they have to be full-blooded Greek. This is non-negotiable. The Minotaur, he's viewed as a protector of the team, and the Jumbotron shows him letting out a huge roar.
The Jamaican Jerks. First and foremost, you're probably thinking the stadium is on the great Jamaican island somewhere. It's not. It's actually a mile offshore. It's like that SpongeBob episode where they do that little bubble. SpongeBob sings every national anthem. And this is just a big party scene here. Just a beachy party. You got reggae music, Bob Marley, drink choices, Red Stripe, obviously, rum, lots of rum. Jerk chicken is their cuisine of choice, and other jerk foods, hence the name Jamaican Jerks there. The Freeze, that baseball guy who races people, that's also what they do for the Jamaican Jerks games. They get some of their Jamaican sprinters. You get to start 50 yards ahead of them. You're on the 50, they're in the end zone. It's a race to the next end zone.
Is there any marijuana involved in this stadium?
No.
Canton Goats. This place is going to be flourishing with merchandise. On the roster, everyone that's in the Hall of Fame or is a unanimous pre-Hall of Fame voter, aka Tom Brady, is allowed to be on the roster of this team, which is why they are the Goats. Because a majority of these people are past their playing prime. They only play an abbreviated schedule, 8 games max. Some will say maybe just 3 games some seasons, depending how everyone's knees are. Also, you know, like in the NFL, when they take their helmets off on the sideline and they just put them like on that little pole thing, they actually have each player's bust. O.J. Simpson's coming back. He's starting. He decided he's going to play this year for the Canton Goats. 8 games max, but he will be the starting running back. He also had talks about potentially being the middle linebacker as well. Just, I guess he has a pretty good thing with murdering people or something like that.
The Sweden Symphony. Sweden, they lean in heavily to their country's accomplishments. They chose the name Symphony based off of Spotify and many musical artists originating in Sweden. They use the Swedish flag colors as team colors. And if you're looking at that Sweden Symphony font, does it look familiar? That is the IKEA font. Main meals obviously have to be pickled herring and Swedish meatballs. Their mascot looks eerily similar to Swedish Chef. Stadium, heavily sponsored by Spotify. The winner of every year's Eurovision Song Contest, they get to do a halftime show at every home game. They throw jabs at opposing teams using their music, mostly by ABBA, famous Swedish band. So if the opposing team fumbles, they win. Their touchdown celebration song, and they run out of the tunnel.
The Dublin Pub Crawlers. Has it ever been the day after St. Patrick's Day? You're like, man, I wish we could do that again. That was a lot of fun. Well, now you can. Just go to a Dublin Pub Crawlers game where it's St. Patrick's Day all the time. Heavily sponsored by Guinness. Irish music left and right. It's basically only Dropkick Murphys. Stadium is just like an Irish pub. Typical Irish cuisine. Their colors, obviously, white, orange, and green for the Irish flag. There is a Lucky Charms stand as well. Anything you want Lucky Charms, you got it. So I did forget to mention, they do have Irish car bombs. You're forced to drink 2 of those right when you enter the stadium just to get the energy levels up.
What about the children?
Have to. Start them young.
Are there any leprechauns?
There are. If you find one, you have to capture it, bring it to customer service, and you'll get some freebies. Also, there will be some indoor rainbows. If you can find the pot of gold, it's yours. And most people do end up crawling home.
First of all, we are the Berlin Blitz. You're kind of like the New York Knicks, who are really the New York Knickerbockers. We are the Berlin Blitzkriegs, straight military, as strict as you can get. Almost imagine North Korea. Do their job right, make no mistakes, and just very, very tough to beat. They walk into the stadium and it's air sirens. The coaches wear the old school military suits the start of the game, and after every single quarter, they actually have air bombs that drop Jaeger, as in Jaeger bombs, just throughout the whole stadium. There is no celebrations at all, except there is heavy anti-aircraft guns that just go off in the background. Also, they do have a firing squad. It doesn't shoot at anything, but they just have a wall, and they have like a little, the other opposing team's mascot, like just not the real one, just like a stuffed animal.
Is it true that their defensive playbook was leaked in their only play and there was Engage 8?
It was Engage 8 and punt block.
French Resistance. They were not initially the French Resistance. They were initially, like the baseball team, you got the White Sox and the Red Sox. They were initially the Paris White Flags. The stadium is in Paris, and it's a very modern stadium. It is an indoor stadium, and that's because the concourse doubles as an art museum. And the best part of the stadium is its nickname. It's the Moulin Rouge. As far as food goes, I'm sure you could have guessed it. It's baguettes. Baguette pizza, baguette sandwiches.
Nice.
What's the aroma of the stadium? Do they wear deodorant?
Dude, it stinks. They allow open smoking, so it just smells like cigarettes and wine breath. The mascot's obvious. It's a friendly Quasimodo and a Resistance jersey. They have a blackout game, and that's called the Plague game. They give out rubber rats on entry with players' numbers.
Welcome to Better Win Green, eh? To Better Win Green, eh? To Better Win Green, eh? Listen in and cash out, that's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover all spot from the bottom to the top, hey. Shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome to our podcast, Better Win Green.